All right, everybody, welcome to another PHC podcast. Today we have Leslie Robertson on the show. Leslie is a 15-year veteran in the fitness world, owner of Prime Personal Training, and founder of the Happy, Healthy, Fit Mom Method, which is an online coaching program. And she has been in the city and is about to celebrate her 10 years of her own personal training studio. And we wanted to bring Leslie on because we met at a conference, but I loved her Instagram. If you can follow her, make sure you do. She's got great information. She's worked with moms. She is a mom. She's an athlete. And she just gives good everyday tips that I think a lot of you will be able to get value from because they're everyday solid tips. And she has the experience of working with people, plus the education, plus living it herself. And those, to me, are the best people to get information. Leslie, welcome to the show.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much, Harry. I'm super pumped to be here.
I'm excited because we met at Activate and then I've been creeping your Instagram and I'm like, hey, this is really good. This is really good. And we were supposed to do this last month, but then you got sick. And I was like, oh, all my creeping notes are like gone because I wanted to ask you some questions.
Sorry for the delay.
No, that's good. I'm excited because you give really good everyday advice and I resonate with it because it's super powerful about the basics and not the fancy things, which is something that I'm very, very much about. Leslie, what drove you to get into the health and wellness industry? How did you start your journey?
Wow. I've always been an athlete. Didn't mean I was like necessarily healthy or like mindful of how I ate or strength trained and all that kind of thing. But I was always an athlete since I was 7 years old. I actually started playing basketball. I played club. And then at 15, I was crazy and I made a decision to switch to volleyball at 15. So I played for a very competitive nationally, like we won all the nationals every year. Volleyball, that was in Hamilton. I got a scholarship to play volleyball for 4 years on a full ride at the University of Southern Mississippi, of all places. It was an incredible experience. And then through that, I got my degree to become a teacher. So I actually went to school for human performance and education. I always knew I wanted to be in a career where I'd be helping people take better care of themselves, teach them to be active properly. But soon into my career of teaching, I found out it wasn't for me. I think it's maybe because I was really young and still didn't want to have all the responsibility and was taking things personally. I left teaching. I felt like I was letting everyone down. I got into a pretty dark place because I'm like, okay, I left teaching, but I don't have a plan. But I knew I'd figure it out. So I actually left Hamilton and moved to Ottawa. And I got like super out of shape. I was working in bars, staying up late, drinking alcohol, emotionally eating all the things. And I gained about 40 pounds. And I was like a scholarship athlete, went to school for like health sciences, all these things. And my sister, I'll thank my sister for this. She's like, why don't you like go to the gym? You're like not well. And I'm worried about you. And I'm like, whatever, I'm fine. I'm having a good time. I'm trying to figure my life out. I actually, of all places, because I lived in Sandy Hill at the time, I was working at Darcy McGee's and Good Life was right in the middle. So I went to the Good Life Center, Good Life at the Rito Center, got a membership, and they were like harassing me about getting a trainer, right? Because that's what they do. Like they got a great business model. Got a trainer. And it completely changed my life. And I lost 40 pounds. I did a half marathon. I started diving into nutrition and I became a trainer because the serving job wasn't really doing me well. And I'm like, this completely changed my life and I want to have this impact in someone else's life. So through my own transformation and completely changing my health and learning how to lift weights properly and learning about nutrition, I became a trainer. And that was in August of 2008. And ever since then, I've been changing lives, helping people lose weight, take better care of themselves. And I'm grateful for that because since becoming a mom, I've had to transition again to what being healthy looks like with less time. But I'm glad for the foundations and the solid connection I have to my body and my non-negotiables. Because of that, I can be a solid mom, business owner, wife, friend, and coach to my clients. So that's like a long story short, but
no, that's amazing.
That's why.
No, you went through, you went through the like they call it the hero's journey, right?
There we go.
You go through your hero's journey. First, you went to highs, then you went to lows, and then because you have consistency, intensity, duration, and you have people who are around you, you are able to kind of rebuild yourself and refine yourself. And the next thing you know, boom, there you are, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's dive into this. Obviously, you are working with moms, right? That's your shtick.
Yes.
Tell me, what are 2 to 3 things that you can do that you have given to your mom clients that have helped them boost their energy? What's 2 or 3 habits or tips that they can take from you today that they could do themselves to help them increase their energy levels? Because that is probably one of the most important things to healing, and healing your nutrition and is going to be energy. I always tell people energy is the root of all healing. When you have energy, you'll work out better, you'll fight off cravings, and you'll cook better food.
Totally.
What are 2 to 3 things that you would give your clients that always say, hey, when I did this, Leslie, that gave me tons of energy?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's helping them shift their mind. We got to get clear on their why. Most people come to me because they want to lose weight, but then I'm like, okay, but why do you want to lose weight? And when we really dig deep, it's because they want to feel better, right? So in order to feel better, if we take our focus from doing things to lose weight to doing things to having energy, that changes everything. I'm like, okay, moms, stop this whole losing weight obsession and let's take better care of ourselves, right? And then like, what do we need to feel better and have energy? Well, we need to sleep, number one. Sometimes that can be challenging with children. If your children have sleep problems, it will change. But if not, I have also told my moms to get a sleep coach. It's like if your kids are getting up in the night or in the morning really early, perhaps it's time to outsource that.
Okay.
So I make sleep a priority. So getting to bed before 10 o'clock, because we know between 10 and 2 is when all the really like the growth hormones release. We have the best, most beneficial sleep between 10 and 2. So I'm like, get off your damn phone. Get your phone out of your hand at least 30 minutes before, keep it out of your room, and get to bed at least at 10 o'clock. So sleep is always a priority. So making that a priority for more energy. Obviously, you can't do anything else. The next thing, I always encourage my clients to drink water over coffee. You can have coffee, not all day. And if you're living off coffee, it's because there's a lot of other things going on. That is not the best thing to give you energy. So water, so half your body weight in ounces of water, I recommend. And to always have water with you. Like I have water here, I have a water bottle in my car, water bottle at work. So always having that water bottle with you and preferably filling it up. And then the last time is eating regularly throughout the day. So at least 3 meals a day. And every time you're eating, there's protein, there's vegetables. I always say the fats make your food taste good and the carbs are going to help you feel satisfied. So those are the kind of things that kind of finish off the meal, but prioritizing the protein and the vegetables and not like stop skipping meals. You sit down, your kids are eating, you should sit down and eat with your kids as well. Prioritize your food before your kids.
It is amazing when I talk to people about nutrition, and most people say to me, Harry, it must be hard for people to control portions. I'm like, control portions? I'm trying to get people to eat 3 to 4 meals a day. That's the struggle. They're like, I don't have time to eat. Okay, so it's like, no wonder you have no energy. You can't sleep properly. You're drinking 5 cups of coffee a day, and you're wondering why you don't feel well because you don't make time to eat, right? So it's definitely there. In terms of your sleep, do you have 1 or 2 sleep tips that you give your clients to give them to help improve their sleep? What are some of those tips?
Oh my God. Well, the hardest one is the phone. So like putting your phone, like keeping it out of the room. So if you need to check it, great, but then plug it in downstairs or in a bathroom and then go to bed. No screens, at least 30 minutes. It should definitely be 2 hours, but we know that's unrealistic for us. So 30 minutes, no phones. I am like a huge fan of taking magnesium before bed, at least 30 minutes before bed. And one other thing is making sure that your room is cold, dark, and quiet. Those are things I would recommend, just simple things. And another thing that helps with sleep is don't eat 3 hours before bed. Because if you're eating like the late night snacking, that's going to make it harder. Your body's digesting instead of resting at night. It's going to mess with your blood sugar and all those sort of things. Trying to cut the food 3 hours before bed. And then if you are hungry, well, look back in the day. Did you eat breakfast? Did you eat lunch? Did you eat dinner? Did you eat some snacks? If you're hungry at night, A, you're probably up too late, so just get your butt to bed. B, you probably didn't eat enough. So that the eating schedule can also really help us get to bed earlier as well. And that's so more than 2.
It's funny because I have an Oura Ring tracker and a lot of our clients do. And they'll all say that the 3-hour rule, I kind of don't recommend to clients. I just say, try to eat as further as you can to bed, but sometimes you're just going to eat half an hour before bed. Just make sure you eat low carb, protein, vegetable meal, because I'd rather you eat and go to bed than not eat anything and then wake up at 3 o'clock starving, right?
That's true. There are definitely exceptions. Yeah.
But our clients who do have Oura Rings or Whoop bands will say that the further they eat from bed, the better it is.
Right.
And the less screen time they use at night, the better it is. And then when your water tip, it's funny how many people we've been able to fix their sleep just by getting them hydrated. Their actually heart rate starts to lower.
Wow.
Their heart rate starts to lower. And from 1 to 5 o'clock, we'll see energy levels increase.
Wow.
So that's good. So improving their sleep, you're saying eat less at night, take magnesium, less screen time. What are some tips that you do to help people get water in? Because that's like
Oh,
the
man.
biggest thing. People are like, I don't want to drink. I don't have time during the day. And I'm like, you're drinking everything at night. And that's why you're peeing in the middle of the night. We need you peeing in the day. So what are some tips that you give to moms
Oh my
to help?
gosh. Right when you get up, I have 1 liter mason jars and I have one here and one at home. So I always fill them to the top and you got to measure it to know, right? Or you have a big water bottle, have at least 500 milliliters in the morning, right when you get up. If you're super fancy, you got a little bit of like water and salt to it. I make it the night before, so it's ready to go and it's all mixed in. So you got a big glass of water before you even do anything else. And then just having it with you throughout the day. And have a certain number, like either it's 2 or 3 liters, but like measure it out and like drink the whole thing and then fill it up again. You actually know how, instead of like pouring these random cups and you don't know how the hell much you've drank or And I always also recommend people drink in between meals. So you feed and then you flush the system. And again, it's giving you something to do. It gets you more steps because you go pee more often. You go into the bathroom more.
I like that. My mentor, Charles Poliquin, used to say that to us. He goes, go buy those 5 bottles of water that you have sitting underneath your counter, those empty bottles of water that everybody has, fill them all up for the amount of water you need to drink, put them in the fridge. And then by the end of the day, you'll know where you are in your hydration status, right?
It's so key.
And then when it comes to food prep, you recommend protein, vegetables. What are some food hacks that you do? Obviously, you're a busy mom, you own your own business, you work with clients, right? People forget that coaching it's not a punch in, punch out job, right? I always tell people, I'm like, some of my clients say, here, you emailed this back at 12:30. I said, yeah, because it's not a punch in, punch out job. If I can answer it, I'll answer it as fast as I can. Sometimes it takes me longer, sometimes take me shorter. But what are 2 to 3 food hacks that you do to help your family get more protein and more vegetables? So what are some things that you do?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that's really helpful is I meal prep twice a week. I'll do it on the weekend. It's not this big 2-hour thing. Sometimes it ends up being on Monday, but I always have chicken drumsticks. I have chicken breast chopped up and cooked. I'll have some ground beef either in patties so I always have some sort of protein made in clear containers. And then by Wednesday, I'm like, oh, we're getting low on this. I got to redo it again. So I always have that ready to go. Hard boiled eggs. I always have that. I always have vegetables either raw or roasted. I do sheet pans of vegetables. Then I season them. And then I have raw ones for the kids. They're not really into roasted vegetables yet, which is kind of annoying. And then I'll do either rice. I'll do a big pot of rice and we work through that. Some roasted potatoes, sweet potatoes, either I make fries or something like that. But I also, so that's a meal prep that's huge. And what some people do wrong is they do all these meals on Sunday. I would not look forward to Sundays if I did that. And then by Wednesday, I'm tired of this food.
Yeah.
And then they're and then they throw it out and then it's a weekend, it's Uber Eats, it's eating out because they don't want to do anything. They have no food, right? So I do a Sunday and then do a Wednesday, Thursday prep for the weekend. That's how I hack it. And I also keep it really simple. So I have 2 or 3 options for breakfast, a few options for lunch, a few options for dinner, and then we just roll like that. I'm not a fan of having so many recipes and having to get all these different ingredients that you're never going to use again. I just keep it really simple, and I like doing plates and bowls and smoothies and that kind of thing. I keep it simple.
What's a sheet pan vegetable?
Right now I'm looking at my broccoli. So I'll chop up broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, season it with avocado oil, salt, pepper, and garlic. I'll throw it in the oven for 30 minutes, toss it around, and boom, I have veggies for a few days. Or even sometimes I'll just take frozen veggies and do them in a pot on the stove, steam them. I just keep it really simple. Salads too, all super easy.
What are some tools that you use to help you cook food faster? Do you have an air fryer, Instapot, rice cooker? Yeah.
We have our Pampered Chef air fryer, and I just got all new super fancy ceramic pans, and those are super nonstick and really big. You can put a lot in there too.
Yeah, it's amazing though how the air fryer can save your life, right?
It does.
In our house, it's when I'm telling clients about my food prep, they're like, "How do you food prep them?" Because I food prep every day. I don't like leftovers too much.
Oh, you don't like leftovers. That's
so tough. It's and I figured out the system. It's air fryer in the morning, 3 chicken breasts, 6 chicken thighs, fresh.
Yeah.
I got this new fancy rice cooker. Paid a little bit too much money for it, but it's this new sick machine that you can put a timer on it. So at night I'll put the rice in, and at 8 a.m. it starts making it for myself. And then it's whatever veggies, I'll just break them up, put them in. We have a air fryer mini toaster oven.
Oh,
which by the way, I highly recommend anybody get. It's the mini toaster oven that I've made a whole chicken in 35 minutes in that thing.
Wow.
Because it's smaller, right, than your stove,
Nice.
and it keeps it moist. It's really good. But
wow.
Yeah, it's amazing what the little things do. So
the kitchen and the crock pot too. I got a new crock pot, which I'm obsessed with as well. The timer on it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Timers, right?
Yeah.
We have some clients that say, "Oh, we have no time to prep food." I'm like, "Do you guys have things that turn off on their own?" The stove doesn't, right? Like, like people say, "Oh, I don't want to buy a rice cooker. I just make it on the stove." But I'm like, you guys spend 25 minutes in the kitchen when the stove's on, boiling the water, making the rice.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, you just put a rice cooker on, boom, it's done. Now, tell us. I love the simplicity. I find that more and more. A lot of people will say to us, "Oh, well, what do you eat?" I'm like, I eat very basic. I'm like,
me too.
I got like 12 meals I like. I got 5 sauces I like. I got 5 spices I like. But what I want to know is portions. Okay. So this is the big thing, because, a lot of people say, "Oh, I use this much protein." When you eat protein, we'll go through each one. When you eat protein, what is a serving size on your plate in grams? How many grams, not in protein grams, but actual weight on your food scale? How much would you put on your plate each time you eat it?
So I'm ounces. I don't know why. I'm like 4 to 6 ounces of protein, and I pull out my scale and I weigh it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 to 5 ounces. And how many meals would you eat? 3, 4?
I have 3 meals with 4 to 6 ounces of protein.
Yeah.
And then my other snacks will have either like nuts or like a little midday square. There's going to be a bit of protein in there as well. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's the protein. Yeah.
And what's a serving of vegetables look like? Is it 1 cup, 2 cup, half your plate? What do you use as a marker?
I use 1 to 2 cups, but usually like half the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 to 2 cups. And then carbohydrates.
So it depends, right?
It's very dependent. But for someone like yourself, you're in the gym.
Yeah.
Your mom, you're working out. Now you work out. Let's also caveat. You work out more than the average.
Yes.
Someone
but
who
still
works
not
out,
a lot.
Someone who works out for 30 minutes a day and then goes to sit at a desk for 16 hours a day.
That's true.
Not very active. Your job, you probably do easily 10,000 to 15,000 steps a day, plus lifting the plates, putting them, racking them with clients. So you would be considered active.
Yes.
Right? Majority of the people are sedentary.
Yes.
Right? Because they work out for 30 minutes and then, like I said, they're sitting. Yeah. What would be a serving of carbohydrates for yourself?
So serving of carbs. So personally at breakfast, I don't do well with carbs. I just do protein and fat at breakfast. I'm a little more on the like insulin resistant side. And then for snacks, I'll have like fruit and some nuts. And then for lunch and dinner, anywhere between 3/4 to a cup of carbs.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. That's right. It's a 40-year-old female.
But no, it's just nice to hear this, because a lot of people will say, "Well, I'm supposed to be eating more carbs because I worked out for 35 minutes. I'm like, listen, I understand that person you followed on Instagram. They work out for 2 hours a day. Right? Like, even clients ask me, I did 3 or 4 years of really low carbs. Now I'm so efficient with carbohydrates that a maintenance day for me is 350 grams of carbs a day.
Nice.
I mean, like, I can eat a ton of it, but I also train 5 to 8 times a week, and I do 12,000 steps.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You can use that. Yeah.
I have the activity to back it up. But it's nice to just hear that these are just, and the thing is, what you just told me is not complicated. I eat 4 to 6 ounces of protein per meal. I put on a cup of 2 of vegetables. 2 times a day, I have a snack of fruit. I have a stack of carbohydrates, like some rice or potatoes with dinner. And I call it a day, right? Yeah. It's not like there's this macro counting, tracking, that, all these different types of tools. Very simple. I love that. In terms of when you're working with clients, what are some things that you really have to reinforce to them that they got to do every day? Let's talk about the typical mom. Let's say 25% body fat, hasn't worked out in 2 or 3 years, maybe just done like an odd workout once a week, sitting at their desk. Kids are now 5 and older. What are 3 non-negotiables you would give them to getting them back on track? I mean, what are 3 things that you'd say, hey, do this? Yeah.
So definitely like think and be more intentional about what you're eating and get organized around that. Just know when you go to bed, what am I eating tomorrow? Do I have the food ready? Do I need to have it ready before I wake up so I don't forget to eat, or like don't have something? I always say be really intentional about your food and always think, well, every time I eat, where's my protein? Where's my vegetables? And am I eating like a reasonable amount of fat and carbs as well? Being really intentional about your food. So eating at least 3 meals a day. Don't skip breakfast, don't skip lunch, and don't eat all the things that don't make you feel great at dinner. Intentional about food, really intentional about your movement as well. And if you don't know what to do for workouts, or you don't have time, so a lot of times in the beginning, moms don't have the energy or the time, right? Because they're still just getting into it. So I'm like, go for a walk. Like just go for a walk, go for a 15 to 20 minute walk. I love getting my clients to go for a walk right in the morning. They get out of the house. It sets the tone for the day. They get some time to themselves. And then no matter how their day goes, they know they did that one thing, right? Let's get in a walk. And then the last thing is like, get your ass to bed. Like, stop choosing your phone over sleep. Okay. So put your phone down, 9:30 p.m., get upstairs, read a book, go to bed. Those 3 things. Make sure you know what the heck you're eating and have it ready. Have it preferably packed and ready to go the night before. Be really intentional and simple with your movement, but make that at least every day. Our bodies were meant to move, and then just go to bed earlier, get some sleep.
Have you seen that book by Samuel Jackson, Go the F to Bed?
No, but I
Okay,
gotta
go
read
after
it.
this, go to YouTube and just type in Samuel Jackson, go to bed. And it's basically him reading a child's story to a child. And it's, a parent's perspective of like, no, I can't read the book again. Go the F to bed. You know what I mean? And it's Samuel Jackson. So he has a lot of color in it when he talks, but you definitely need to listen to that and maybe send it to your clients to do that.
So
so good. Be deliberate. Have an idea
Yeah.
of what you're eating tomorrow. Make sure there's protein. Make sure there's some vegetables in your day.
Yeah.
Don't skip meals because you think that you're going to fast track your fat loss. It actually
Stop
doesn't
fasting.
work. It backfires. 2 is just going for that 10 to 15 minute walk per day, which is, my clients are always shocked that when I say, hey, just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Let's just start there. You eat breakfast or you eat dinner, go for a walk after for 15 to 20 minutes.
Yes.
And the good thing is you're building in the routine. And then I said, in a month, you could do 20 minutes of walking one day, 20 minutes of exercise the next day.
Exactly.
But you now know how you're going to feel after you do that. And the momentum starts shifting, right? What you're saying is, and I love it, it's like progression. Don't start where you need to end.
No.
Start where you need to start. Be aware of where you are and just say, this is my chapter. And it's not forever. It's just where I need to start.
Yeah. And do like, what do you feel like you can be successful with, right? In the beginning, it is only 3 walks a week. We'll start with that. So you can like gain some momentum and confidence and then add to that, right? And even if all that seems like too much, the eating, the sleep, the walk, pick one thing and just start with that and like rock that and make that your thing. And then you can add from there.
I want to ask you one question because it's something that comes up a lot in our office. Where do you recommend them to eat? When they eat out,
oh, yeah.
Right? Because they're going to eat out with their kids. They're going to be traveling, running around. What is 1 to 3 meals that are your...
Oh, man.
Leslie's on the road, driving to hockey. You're like, oh, and you and me probably have food prep, but sometimes like, oh, man, I forgot my Tupperware on the counter.
Yeah.
Where does Leslie eat when she is looking for that high protein vegetable meal to feed her body? What's the places that she eats?
Yeah, shawarma palace.
Okay,
I love chicken shawarma.
Okay, gotcha.
So because you can get like a chicken shawarma salad, you can get the wrap if you want to be super crazy. You can even get like a platter and you have meals for like 2 or 3 days, or the whole family can eat it, right? That I love. Greek is also a great option. You can get like the chicken souvlaki with a salad, and you can get the rice as well. Getting like a burrito bowl, also just get like double the meat. I find some of these places don't give us enough meat, so always double the protein. So those are 3 I would say, like I love mucho burrito here in Ottawa. I love shawarma, any of the shawarma places, and then Greek on wheels, you can get really good options there.
If you're eating out, you're eating the same style as if you eat at home.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not cooking for food. So it's like, where's my protein? Where's my vegetables? Where's my good carbohydrate? So that's good. I love that because everybody's always going to eat out. And one thing I tell clients is that in order for you to change your environment and retain and maintain the information, the results that you get, you have to have 3 restaurants that are within 10 minutes from your house and 3 restaurants within 10 minutes from your office to help you change the patterns long-term, because those are the places you just don't even have to think, forgot my lunch, or we're having a lunch meeting. Perfect. I'll get a double chicken, a Greek souvlaki bowl from that place. Just order it. I'll eat that while everybody eats pizza. Boom, done. It's there, but it's a system, right?
Yeah. Right. So that's good. I love that. Good question.
What are 3 non-negotiables that you do for your health on a daily basis?
3 non-negotiables.
Every day you do them, whether you're in Mexico, you're sick, bad day, good day, kids were up all night with you. But what are those 3 things that no matter what you do every day?
Well, definitely like eating my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And sometimes when you're away, it's not going to be always exactly the way it'll be, but always making sure to find a way to have protein at my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I always have water with me. That's a non-negotiable. And doing something for myself. So whether it's in the morning or at night or during the day, always carving out some time. Either it's like a 5-minute meditation, a 10-minute walk, just doing some deep breathing. So always taking a bit of time to like connect with and kind of ground myself, I always make sure that's like happening every single day. And sometimes the kids are running around doing crazy stuff, and I'm like, Mommy, I'll just lie in my bed for 5 minutes and take 5 deep breaths, you know?
It's important that, so you do your 5 to 10 minute of just self check-in of like, where am I? What's going on today? Let me breathe, and then let's go to work.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
I journal before bed sometimes. Like it looks different, but I always somehow find a way to make that happen.
And I think that's good to hear because, again, a lot of people think, well, I just don't have time to do this. I don't have time for that. Well, meditation doesn't have to be sitting there and going, It could be just going for a walk by yourself.
Yeah.
Or it could be, like you said, closing the TV or the phone 10 minutes before you're going to bed. Just shut it off and just go lie down in bed and breathe. Or go for a walk. Or it could be journaling. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day. It's just wherever you are that day, you can do something. It could be while you're driving, just shut the music off and drive and nose breathe, right?
Yes.
Little things that impact the parasympathetic nervous system to help you just feel calmer and more about your day. I love this. This is like, because you're doing the real deal. You're coaching other people and you're doing it yourself. Even my clients, like, how do you do what you do? I'm like, I just kind of squeeze it in, right? Like I park my car far from my front door. It's like 10 more steps. But I said, over the year, if I go to my car 4 times a day, that's an extra 40 steps a day. And then I'll keep that up at the mall. I'll keep that up at the other place. And the next thing you know, you've got it. So all these little things kind of impact our health long-term.
It really does. Yeah.
Well, Leslie, how do somebody get a hold of you? Number one is you're in Ottawa. You're in Manor Park.
Yeah.
Are you taking on new clients?
Do have availability for a couple. We do some semi-private training as well, like groups of 4 or less. There's some early morning availability with that. One-on-one in person, I personally do not, but I have 2 other trainers that are fantastic and have some openings as well. So in person, you can come with us. I'm going to be launching the next Happy Healthy Fit Mom Method in September. Enrollment will be opening for that this summer. Get in touch with me through my website, primepersonaltraining.ca. But if you really want to get to know me and create me, come find me on Instagram at GetFitWithLess. We have lots of fun on there.
And you do. It's good. It's good. Like I was giggling. I was giggling watching. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. It was really good. This is really good. So thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate you sharing all the little pearl, like the true pearls of what you do in a day to help you stay healthy and most importantly, impact other people's health. It's great.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I wish you all the best on your 10-year anniversary. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Harry. This is awesome.
Thank you.